I'm here at St. Stephen's Catholic Church in Portland, Oregon, and today is the 8th day, the penultimate day of our novena to Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal. Yesterday, we heard about Father Aladel, the spiritual director and confessor of Sister Labouré, Sister Catherine and Saint Catherine Labouré. And we're going to continue with that story because he is the one who propagated the miraculous medal, all the while keeping the name of the seer secret. For decades, the name of the sister who received this apparition remained secret. And so, we now turn to Father Aladel, who wrote the following in a book that he wrote. The medals of the Immaculate Conception were propagated in a truly marvelous manner among all classes and in all provinces. We received the most consoling accounts from every side. They are reviving fervor in both town and country. We are assured by priests, themselves filled with the Spirit of God, while distinguished prelates testified to their sure confidence in these medals, which they looked on as a means designed by Providence to revive the enfeebled faith of our country. And truly they are reawakening it day by day in many hearts in which it seemed extinct. They are restoring peace and unity in families rent with discord. In fact, none of those who wear them fails to feel a salutary effect. In all parts of France, there appears a growing eagerness among the faithful of all ages and conditions to procure the miraculous medal. Indifferent Christians, hardened sinners, Protestants, unbelievers, the Jews themselves beg for it, receive it with delight, and wear it with devotion. Nor is it propagated in France alone. It has spread rapidly over Switzerland, Italy, Spain, Belgium, England, America, the East, reaching as far even as China. In Naples, no sooner was it known than the cathedral chapter made application for it at one of our houses. The king had a number struck in silver for himself and his court, and finally, Okay, let's try that again. The king had a number struck in silver for himself and his court and family, and ordered 1 million for distribution during the outbreak of cholera, with the result that it is held in honor in nearly every house and many of the churches. In Rome, the generals of the religious orders took an active part in the propaganda, while the Holy Father himself placed the medal at the foot of the crucifix and gave it to people as a special token of his blessing. And that is the end of this quote from Father Aladel himself, speaking of the marvels and the spread of this medal of the Immaculate Conception, which quickly came to be known as the Miraculous Medal. Well, Father Aladel was charged with carrying out the reforms that Our Lady had requested, or Our Lady had indicated were needing to be done in that first apparition to Sister Labouré. And so it was that Father Aladel, since Sister Labouré's identity was always kept secret, Father Aladel was charged with he was charged with, well, let's listen to what Our Lady said to Sister Catherine. Again, tell him who directs you that though he will not be superior, he will one day be charged in a particular manner with the community, and he is to do his utmost to restore the rule in all its vigor. When the rule has been restored, another community will wish to be united to yours. This is against the ordinary custom, but that community is dear to me. So tell them to receive it. God will bless the union, and all will enjoy a great peace, and the community will increase. Well, as we might remember then, Sister Labouré was charged to inform her spiritual director, her confessor, of everything. So she duly informed Father Aladel that Our Lady wished to entrust the mission to him, and she enumerated the reforms that Our Lady desired. Now it may be asked, what was the cause of the non-observance of the rule? Well, it must be remembered that we are dealing with the year 1830. The community had passed through all the horrors of the French Revolution. One would have thought that the sisters would have been spared, but in the eyes of the revolutionaries, they were guilty of one great crime. They stood for religion, and therefore they could not be tolerated. Hence, they were driven from their convents and hospitals, but their love for the poor was such that they had assumed lay attire, and thus disguised, they carried on their blessed work. Now, in these circumstances, community life was rendered practically impossible, and therefore the rule could not be observed. By 1830, however, conditions had become normal, and the time seemed to be ripe for a return to the primitive spirit of the community. So the strict observance of the rule was indeed in harmony with Father Aladel's own wishes, and he lost no time in placing the matter before his superior, Father Etienne, who warmly approved of the reforms suggested. And sometime afterward, Father Etienne was appointed Superior General, and during his term of office, he introduced the reforms, and in that task, he received the cooperation and wholehearted support of Father Aladel. Now, we're taking this again from the book from 1945 on Father Aladel, published by the Irish Truth Society, or published in Ireland by the Catholic Truth Society. And I'll have a link to that in the description below the video as well. So, now, what happened is that they carried out the reforms, and then there was a separate community in the United States formed by St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. And they approached the Parisian sisters and the congregation of the mission and asked if they could join them, which is what happened. So the sisters in Emmitsburg, Maryland became Sisters of Charity and adopted the rule and the way of life of the sisters there on the Rue de Bac in Paris. Okay, the other interesting thing that we find out about Father Aladel is that there were two other sisters from the same religious community who also came to him to inform him that they also had received apparitions. So the first was Sister Bisque-Bourou, and it was just a few years after this, with Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal, it was just a few years after that Our Lady appeared to her and introduced to her the green scapular of the Immaculate Conception. And so Sister Bisque-Bourou came to Father Aladel and told him about this apparition, about the green scapular of the Immaculate Conception. All right. And then a few years later, another sister from the same community came to Father Aladel in 1846 and revealed that our Lord had appeared to her and revealed a new scapular of a red color, on which next to his heart was also that of his mother, and which for this reason received the name of Scapular of the Sacred Hearts of Jesus and Mary. And so Father Aladel truly had a mission given to him by Our Lady. So you see, it is not just St. Catherine Labouré in this story of the Miraculous Medal, and it's not just about the Miraculous Medal as well. The Miraculous Medal is for the purpose of this greater mission. And it is only a few years after that that Pope Pius IX, in response to all of this, declares the dogma of the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary. And then just a few years after that Our Lady appears then to St. Bernadette in Lourdes, announcing that she is the Immaculate Conception. And so it continues. It continues. Then we come to the children in Fatima. And the children of Fatima have Our Lady of the Rosary appear to them, asking that Russia would be consecrated to her Immaculate Heart. All of this goes together, and it's fascinating as we put all the pieces together and we learn more and more. There is more to learn, and we have one more day just to learn a little bit more, and there's so much more. There's just so much more we won't get to, which is why you have to do your spiritual reading on your own, especially this coming Advent. I highly recommend you read the book by Father Dirvin on St. Catherine Labouré and the Miraculous Medal, and that you continue your study of such things. Our Lord does amazing things. He does amazing things through his saints and amazing things through the Blessed Virgin Mary. Well then, one more day to go. One more day to go. Let us now pray our novena prayer. In order to do so, if you have not already yet done so, you can print out a copy of the novena prayers from a link in the description below the video, and you can click on another link to pray along with us here in the church. Otherwise, you can pray on your own, which is good too. And I will see you tomorrow for the last 9th day of our novena, and don't miss a day of prayer with us.